you ever felt completely lost? You know, like you're just wandering, maybe in a bit of a wilderness, not sure what the next step is. And it's funny how in those moments, it's like all the times you did get through something tough or all the help you got, it just vanishes from your memory.
It really does. It's like our minds hit reset sometimes.
Exactly. So imagine this. You witness the impossible. Rivers turning to blood, plagues devastating an empire, a sea parting right in front of you.
Just incredible, world-altering events.
You'd think that would stick with you, wouldn't you? Like forever.
You absolutely would. But that's where Psalm 78 comes in, and it hits us with something pretty shocking.
Which is?
Well, despite seeing all of that, the very people who were delivered, they kept rebelling. It's like they forgot everything.
Wow. Okay, so that's the paradox we're jumping into today then.
That's exactly it. We're doing a deep dive into Psalm 78, specifically verses 40 through 55. And our goal, really, is to pull out some maybe surprising insights about this human tendency to forget, but also about God's faithfulness and what guidance actually looks like.
And how this ancient text still speaks to us, right? To you listening now.
Absolutely. We think you'll find it's incredibly relevant.
Great. So Psalm 78, for those maybe less familiar, set the scene for us a bit.
Sure. So it's essentially looking back, we're recounting Israel's history, specifically their journey out of slavery in Egypt and into the wilderness.
The time filled with these massive divine interventions.
Exactly, which makes the next part, the human response, even more startling.
Right. So what does the psalm actually say they did? It sounds pretty bad.
Oh, it is. It uses strong language. It says they kept rebelling against him in the wilderness and grieved him in the desert.
Grieved him? Wow.
Yeah. And verse 41 adds, they tested God again and again and provoked the Holy One of Israel. Our source calls it spiritual amnesia.
Spiritual amnesia. That's a powerful phrase. It's not just forgetting where you put your keys.
Not at all. It's like a selective forgetting, specifically about God's help and power. Profound, really.
It is astonishing. Does the source give any clues about why? I mean, why forget those things? Is it just ingratitude or something deeper?
Well, the psalm itself doesn't psychoanalyze them, but it makes the forgetting seem even more baffling by listing exactly what they forgot.
Ah, okay. So it details the signs in Egypt and the marvels.
It really does. Vividly. Rivers turn to blood.
Can you imagine your water source?
Yeah.
Gone.
Exactly. Then swarms of flies, frogs everywhere, destroying things.
Yeah.
Crops wiped out by locusts, vines, and trees destroyed by hail and frost.
So their food supply, their livelihood.
Gone. Even their livestock killed by hail and the Texas thunderbolt, and it gets heavier.
Heavier, how?
It talks about God unleashing burning anger, wrath, indignation, and distress, described as a company of destroying angels.
Wow, okay. That's intense.
And culminates in the plague on the firstborn of Egypt striking down their strength. These aren't subtle hints. They're overwhelming displays of power, designed, you'd think, to be unforgettable.
Absolutely unforgettable.
Okay.
Which makes that next point you mentioned even harder to grasp, doesn't it?
It really does, because right after recounting all this, verse 42 drops this bombshell. They did not remember his power or the day when he redeemed them.
They just didn't remember. After all that?
Nope. Saw the miracles, experienced the rescue, but still doubted, still rebelled. It's a pretty stark look at us, at the human condition.
Yeah, it really is. So this pattern, rebellion, forgetting, how does God respond in the psalm? Does he just give up?
And that's the pivot, isn't it? That's where the story takes a remarkable turn. Because no, he doesn't give up.
Okay.
Despite everything they did, his response is, well, it's guidance. Consistent guidance.
Ah, and this is where that powerful image comes in.
Exactly. Verse 52. It's beautiful. Then he led out his people like sheep and guided them in the wilderness like a flock.
Like sheep. Like a flock. What does that imagery tell us? It feels very gentle, very patient compared to their actions.
It absolutely does. It speaks to patience, faithfulness, protection, a shepherd's care. Our source emphasizes he led them faithfully, patiently, and powerfully. He didn't just point the way. He led them.
Right. He stayed with them.
And kept them safe. Verse 53 says, he led them in safety so that they were not afraid, even while dealing with their enemies, but the sea overwhelmed their enemies.
That contrast again. Safety for them, consequences for their pursuers.
Precisely. And it wasn't just about escape either. He had a destination in mind.
The promised land.
Yes. He brought them to his holy land, to the mountain which his right hand had won. He's actively bringing them to something good.
And then he helps them settle it, too.
He does. It says, he drove out nations before them, apportioned them the land, and settled the tribes of Israel in their tents. It's a complete provision, from rescue to settlement.
Okay, so when you put the rebellion and the forgetting next to that kind of persistent, detailed guidance, what's the big takeaway, the sort of aha moment?
I think the real insight, the unexpected part, is how God's faithfulness seems completely independent of their faithfulness, or lack thereof. His actions are driven by his character, not by their performance.
So he leads because he is faithful, not because they are faithful or deserving.
Exactly that. His faithfulness consistently overrides our spiritual amnesia. That's the profound truth here. He doesn't give up.
And that feels incredibly relevant for us today, doesn't it? Because we all have those moments of feeling lost.
Absolutely. When you feel like you're in your own wilderness, maybe confused, worried, feeling spiritually distant, this passage is saying that guidance, it's still there, even if you're not feeling it, even if you've forgotten past help.
So even when we forget his faithfulness in our lives, those times, he clearly showed up. He doesn't forget his promises.
That seems to be the message. He remembers. And when we wander, the image is one of gently leading back, not abandoning.
That's really reassuring.
It is. It means you're not alone in that feeling. You're not forgotten. You are, in fact, being led.
By that shepherd figure.
By a shepherd who, as the saying goes, knows your name and cares for you deeply.
So the challenge for us listening to this is about trust, then?
I think so. It's an invitation to trust his guidance, not just looking back at the past, but right now, in the present messiness, and looking towards the future.
Leaning into that idea of a consistent, faithful guide, even when our own memory or feelings are shaky.
Exactly. Even when the path seems really uncertain.
So to sort of wrap up the core idea here.
It's that picture of the unwavering, faithful shepherd who sticks with us, despite our very human tendency to forget, to rebel, to wander off.
And that faithfulness isn't just an ancient story. It applies now to you.
It extends to you today, right where you are, in whatever wilderness you might feel you're in.
Okay, so maybe a final thought for everyone listening to chew on. Think about those areas in your life right now where you do feel lost, or maybe just uncertain. What might change if you really leaned into acknowledging that steady guiding presence we've been talking about?
How might it shift your approach?
Right. What would it actually look like day to day to trust that guidance, even when things feel unclear, and even when you can't quite recall all the proof you've had before?
That's a great question to sit with.